will not argue for limiting BS, no matter how true it may have felt and how smart I felt going down all the rabbit holes to understand what they had planned for us and gave to us on a silver platter that we shared around and said, let's frown at what they have planned for us. I'm being a bit facetious, but seriously, I'm not arguing for limiting beliefs anymore. That includes the truth, the agendas, all of the evil that is at play. I'm not arguing for it. I'm not going to push against it. I'm just simply saying I'm not giving it my energy anymore. And I feel a little bit charged because this morning I woke up to interactions with those who are so committed to getting the people informed and awake that it's actually pushing people away. And that's their experience. It's been my experience. And it's part of the divide and conquer war strategy that is not working. And so when we find that something is not working, then we have to say, we must try a different way. Let us open the door. Let us actually say on the other side of that door, it's a different color. I didn't even realize that until this moment. It's white on this side, it's brown on that side. Well, what if we chose to actually call ourselves back, present, to this now moment. We choose to call our power back where we can create instead of react. When we're in a reactive space, generally speaking, we're in our mind, which is why the Mental Health Act is the modern day witch hunt from my experience. And it was 2 years ago today that I got myself out after being locked up for 2.5 weeks. Against doctors' recommendations, which meant I had no ongoing support after being traumatized, having destroyed my reputation, having demolished so many things in my life that when I came out, I very much was starting over. And the medical system wouldn't offer me support because the doctor wanted me to stay longer so I could get addicted to the antipsychotics they unnecessarily put me on. And there was another one too that was equally toxic to the system of me that I did not desire to have in me, and yet I understood that when swallowed by the beast, you have to show some level of compliance in order to get out, or at least that was what I thought. And I did manage to get myself out. Traumatized, sure, but I got myself out and I stood in my power. Even when the professionals were saying, no, you need to be here. We need longer to understand what's wrong with you. And it was like, there's nothing wrong with me. I am still the same as I was before I had what they call a psychotic break and I call a spiritual awakening, where I woke up to the truth and I couldn't come back into the basement here with all of the judgments of everyone wanting to know why I wasn't doing things the normal way. And also, it was to say that I came into the reality that the system is corrupt and the police are in on it, which we're seeing right now. Because if the police were actually public servants the way that they're supposed to be, they would be investigating the treason that is at play. Their hands feel bound because what is not going around and needs to, and is why I'm bringing this message to you today, because we are in a mixed war. The mixed war is between hues of humanity, where we have a need to introduce an extra E to the hues to say that at the base we are man and woman. We, in the hierarchy of creation, are above government, which was created to serve us, which is why they are public servants. The cops, courts, councils uphold that legislation, and then the corporations are the private sector of the public domain. We started with a de jure government, and then we are now under a de facto government, which means that this is part of a corporatocratic takeover that either we are going to comply with because we have too much to lose, have invested all of our energy and identity into the systems that we believe give us purpose. because it's the roles that we identify with. Well, what I've learned dealing with the summons that I have is that as a woman, I have a person. My personage is what's traded on the stock market, on the trust that's connected to the birth certificate that was registered by my parents when I was born, who thought that was what was needed to happen, as so many other things we're thinking need to happen. But the reality is, we must clear the air. We must call our presence, presence, back into the now moment, creating a sense of home we can access despite the chaos around us. And then we claim our rights to stand as a woman in my private capacity with all rights reserved, which means that the limitations imposed by legislation or bylaws within a corporation are at a lower standing than I as a woman with all rights reserved. And unless I claim my right to stand as I do, as I am, having just declared I am the woman commonly known as Laura Hamilton, standing in my private capacity with all rights reserved, and also claiming my belief that it is my right to share my beliefs, I'm making claims. This is what we must all do. We must claim our rights. We must claim our standing, and we must correct our standing so that we all stop seeing ourselves as the terms that we are assigned because we consent to them, not knowing that our power is actually as the original, as the woman or the man that we are. Underneath of the roles, the identities we wear, the veil, the power we have as men and women. So, it's a lot of information. It may be new to you. If it is, I'd love to understand what it brings up for you. And there will be fear. There will be denial. Didn't even know I am lying. There will be anger, maybe, that is most easily directed at the scapegoat that tells you the truth, because it's easier to hate the messenger than it is to say that message is just what? Wait, what? So if you're in that space, please understand you are supported, and we have a Telegram community, Peaceful Inner Warriors United Assembly, which is where we leave the con video game drama out, because it is not empowering anyone for us to talk about what they have planned for us. We're already in a con video game, and it's a drama that I am ready to end the act of. The Emergency Measures Act that I have a summons, my personage has a summons, because that's how they drop us under their banner. As a woman, I'm above it. As a person, I'm under it. Understand? Stand under it? Get it? Whew. Lots of information. Information keeps us in our heads. We need to drop into our hearts. That is where our power is. And this is where we start. I hope this message is useful to you today. I would like to say that everything I went through helped me stand as I do today. And the same is true for you. And if you're in a bad spot right now, please remember you have survived 100% of your darkest days up until this moment. And together, we can continue to lift one another. And we must do it in common unity, in community. We must come together, not from fear and not from that righteous place of saying, I know the truth and I've done my homework and they know. No. We're going to call ourselves back to the present moment. We're going to say all of that was a distraction from ourselves. Our CELL-F, that we have a chance now to choose whether to fill ourselves with fear, false emotion appearing real, or faith, which helps us remember who and whose we truly are, and who we came here to be. So I hope this helps. I want you to notice my tone and how I have softened so that you can receive the message, so that your cells can settle, because you feel the resonance of truth. You hear a message that is new, that doesn't fully feel safe, but it maybe does, hopefully. And so in actually calling myself present, so I'm not charged and out here and wanting to give you information, instead of that, I'm making it safe for you to receive my offer, which is all it is about, offers. And you don't have to accept the first offer that's given. In fact, it is intelligent to make a counter offer when you receive an offer that you do not like. So please, let us stop fighting and instead let us settle ourselves into this moment where we can activate our creativity and rise above the tyranny that we are all going through together. And yet, then we must remember, it is us, the men and women serving in the positions, that are actually doing this to us. It is not them, it's us. We're doing it to ourselves. What if we just stop, redirect, and create something better? That is my wish for us all. I hope you have a great day, and say namaste. Laura J. The light in me honors the light in you. Stand tall, stand strong. Freedom rising.